Al, you talked about the Pac-12 being a grinder. It break you down, show all your flaws, and humble people. It basically did that. What did you guys learn, and how do you think that's going to prepare you for going to Arkansas and playing Wichita State?
I think the biggest thing is we've faced every single type of pitcher there is, and that's usually the hardest thing. Is pitching and defense is usually the hardest thing to adjust to, going to play great teams, and we faced great pitching and defense all year, so I'm really excited to see us because, there's nothing we haven't seen.
What do you, the top three opponents, obviously, when things don't go your way against the best three teams who you play, so there's an 0-10 record against top 25 teams. But that's misleading in that when you look at 26 through 50, you guys dominated those teams. So in the top 50 record, you're like 10-14, which is probably more reflective of, I would say, the overall caliber. So how do you guys kind of look at it? Because obviously there's disappointment when it's UCLA and ASU and Washington when it didn't go your way, but on the larger body of work, you guys have had a lot of success and dominated some teams who were very close to those caliber teams.
I think even in our losses, we've had some really close losses where it could have gone either way. And I think when it gets to postseason, you kind of forget all your wins and losses up to that point. You remember the things you've learned from the wins and losses, but you don't remember the outcomes of those games, because in postseason it doesn't matter. You could be a team 4 times in regular season and face them in postseason and win, and that's all that matters. So, I don't think we look at our wins and losses record from this point forward, because we're going to Arkansas and we're playing 3 great teams, so that's all we're thinking about.
Sort of along that same line, you win 5 out of your last 6, but you also have the off week where a lot of teams don't this week. How big is momentum a factor? Or, like you said, you throw it in the rearview mirror, the wins and losses don't matter anymore.
I think anybody's going to have a lot of energy going into postseason. I think we have an advantage in that we are fresh. We had a full week of practice where we could kind of regroup and get things where they needed to be. It almost felt like January all over again. We had a couple weeks to scrimmage and be able to work on little things that we found we needed to work on. So I think we're fresh going into the weekend, and I'm excited that that's going to have a good impact for our team.
How much do you feel like the experience at Austin last year could help you?
Looking at the weather, looks like rain maybe. And last year we had plenty of rain delays, and I think that won't be an issue for us because we have plenty of veterans on this team that have gone through that. And also just the drama, I would say, that was apparent last year isn't so much this year. So all we have to focus on and all we get to focus on this year is our game and playing and just what's in front of us.
What did you feel like you learned that you can feel like you can carry into this particular regional?
Taking it one game at a time. I think last year we may have looked ahead in the first game, and I think it's imperative that we get the first game against Wichita State and look to the next game when it's going to happen. I think we could do a good job this year at knowing what to expect from the very first game instead of last year. We kind of didn't have any postseason experience. Only a couple people had been to postseason, so we had no idea what to expect, and this year we know exactly what to expect.
You mentioned the weather. How much did that really long delay last year and the dugout scene, because you guys didn't leave the dugout, did that actually serve as not just like a tension breaker in the moment, but actually kind of rally you guys in terms of, for those who are obviously still around now, yeah, Haley and Shay moved on and Smart, but that seemed like a team bonding thing that for the prior year and a half, you guys really didn't have a chance to do.
Yeah.
How much did that actually, that there was actual real value to there's the singing and the dancing, but again, you guys didn't have that fun element as much the prior year and a half.
I think this year, every time we talk about going into a new weekend, we think about finding the fun, just like Texas. So whenever we refer to a weekend this year, it has always been you guys remember how much fun you guys had at Texas last year, singing and dancing in the dugout and being great teammates and loving each other. And I think that's something we've looked back on and taken towards this year. You see us singing and dancing in the dugout this year a lot more than I'd say last year, and it's making it a lot funner, I'd say, for us. And bringing that into this weekend again is going to be even better.
As one of the leaders in version 4, as leaders, what are you guys going to be kind of setting? What standard would fans be looking for from this team going into the games?
I think not as many jitters this year going into the first game. I think we're going to talk with the young ones and let them know what to expect and what we kind of went through last year and our emotions, and kind of let them know what it's going to feel like. And I think that'll help them kind of feel like they've already experienced it with us. And so just taking that and having the veterans lead the charge this weekend, and so the younger ones follow, is going to be really important.
and this is easy to say, but obviously, the last couple of series, it looked like the pitching staff played to the defense a lot more rather than trying to put everybody down, letting the batters hit, letting the defense do their jobs. Is that something that you think you guys will be able to continue going into this?
Yes, 100%. I think our pitchers have figured a lot of things out this year. They've been battle tested, they've gone through it, they've figured it out, and they've come up strong the last couple weekends. And I think they have found their groove, and all of us have found our groove together. Pitching, defense, and hitting have all found ways to win together, and I think that's what we need this weekend in order to win.
Congratulations on the Pac-12 recognition. What does
Thank
that
you.
sort of recognition mean for you and your teammates when you get honored like that?
It means a lot to me. It's a dream come true for me to be able to recognize like that. I don't really think about it too much when we're playing because anybody can do anything at any point. And so especially this weekend, no one's really going to care who's all whatever we are. So all I can do is go forward and just play like I've been playing and do what I can do for my team.